and we are looking forward for a wonderful knowledge for having a about the translation studies and Tamil poetry.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. So shall I continue then?
I would like to invite Barar sir for giving further information about the ma'am.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. Thank you, sir. So maybe a few words about Bharat sir. Like I know him from 2015. Maybe I attended one of his lecture in Anna University, and somehow we got acquainted and all that. And I invite him for all my conferences. He's a speaker and all that. And I also follow him in the other things, right? He's the one I think who has digitalized lots of things, right? Being a literature faculty, getting into digitalization is not that easy, and I think sir has shown a new way and all that. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me to this lecture. And as students expect, I would we'll see like what best I could do. This is a little challenge because when okay, as a I'm an English literature student, and Tamil literature is something different which we even don't do. But I'm a Tamil native and I love my language, and I thought I should do it. So the challenge here is Tamil native did an English literature talking about this to Gujarati students, if I am not wrong. Gujarati and Hindi speaking students. Yeah. So these two things. The thing is that I do not know Gujarati. Tamil and English is okay with me. So few examples and other things. What I'm going to give is based on Tamil language and how it's really hard for anyone to translate a Tamil work into English without marring the meaning, or how it is really hard for us to bring it out. I think that is what the great poet A.K. Ramanujan sir has done this. So that's what we're going to see. I'll try to do little justice, like whatever I could do. Actually, I sat with one of my daughter's Tamil teacher, and he taught me fully the whole Ainguru Noor and all that. He taught me like what is this all about, how you can go about and all that. So with that knowledge also, I'm just sharing this with you. So I'll just share my content. Just in case if you have any doubts or something like that, you can call me. And I'm sure that pronunciation, all these things will be little hard, but I will try to like stop there and I'll do it again. So I'm just presenting it. So hope you can see my screen. Fine. So on translating a Tamil poem. So my content, I have made it very simple. I'll talk to you about what is this Ainguru Nuru. This Ainguru Nuru is a book. Okay. And from that book only this poem, the song number 203 is taken for translation. And that is what this whole essay is about. A.K. Ramanujan is trying to translate this song, just a 4-line song, and he is trying to bring out the culture of Tamil into the English world, I would say. Right? And it is important to understand the landscapes of Tamil Nadu so that you understand the song better. So, first, I'll talk to you about the book, I'll talk to you about the landscapes of Tamil Nadu, and then we'll go for the translation of the song. What is this Tamil song? How that is translated, and how A.K. Ramanujan sir has translated. Any book has got its own value. Any book has got its own translations, especially lots of Tamil books. Hope you all know Tirukkural. Any idea of what is Tirukkural? Students can answer me. Uh, Tiruvalluvar. Kanyakumari. Yes, sir. Fine, sir. Tiruvalluvar, Tirukkural. Why I wanted to talk about this is one common thing, and Tiruvalluvar is universal poet. Okay, he is universal, and all his works, all his poetry are just 2 lines. Right? We talk about Francis Bacon. Right? Bacon is known for known for the sayings, like within small words he tries to expand the whole thing. He's giving us lots of ideas and all that. So like that, Tiruvalluvar is a man within two. Actually, it's 1 3/4 of a meter. That's it. With one Tirukural, we call it one small poem, you can get an universal truth, and that stands forever. Universality, is the crux of any literature, as we all talk. It has to be there. It should suit for all the tenses, right? Past tense, present tense, and future tense. And everyone should accept that, yes, this is true, right? Such is the work. And same ways, almost. So if you take Tirukural, there are lots of translations available, right? G.U. Pope is the first person to translate Tirukural into English, and that is one of the standard versions. And now we have lots of, even students do lots of translation work and all that, based on the needs and based on the understanding level and all that. It changes. So like that, Ainguru Nuru is also translated by many people. Right? Maybe A K Ramanujan's version, what is that? And actually, what does that mean and all that? We'll just see. That is what I'm going to show you. And then we'll talk about the grammatical and syntactical difference. Always in translation, that's going to be the trouble. We never get the exact word, right? That is why we got all these indigenous literature. We got all this impure English, we call it sometimes. We don't use the same. When we don't get the exact term for the word that we use in our own language, we try to incorporate the same language into that, right? We tell them, we write our own word, and then we tell that this word means that and all that. So earlier it was all called impure language and all that, but nowadays people have started accepting that when there is no enough equivalent for a word in some language, it's okay to use the word like that, right? So now the word has become no accommodative, I should say. Before that, it was not like that. So that is why Ramanujan has found it little difficult to translate all these things when he wrote this book, and that is what is describing in the work that he has done. All right. So the final point is, the tunnels, do they meet? That I will tell you by the end of my session. What is a tunnel? How to make it meet, and all these things. We'll see. All right. So this essay has 3 parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. In part 1, he explains what this book is all about. He tries to translate and all that. And in the part 2, he tells how he has done the translation. And in part 3, he gives us an general idea of how a translation could be done. And he also suggests ways and means. In case if the translation is not pakka, or if it is not exact, but it is not, you need not you need not be taken aback. You can go for a translation with minimum ideas and all that. So that is what he is telling us in part 3. All right. So part 1, so we'll directly go with, before that, maybe, sir, can students answer the question? Is that possible, or should I continue with the lecture? Okay, by the end of, fine. Okay, okay, sir. No, maybe before I start the lecture, maybe one question I want to ask the students. Yeah, students, do you think translation is important? One of you can answer me. No hard and fast rules. Do you think translation is important? If so, why?
Yes, yes.
Nilay Rato, tell me.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, I think translation is very important because if uh, if the text is available in only one language, it is very limited to the region or the language. But it is translated in many language or one language, that is English. Obviously, many countries around the globe knows English, so it will be very known and widespread, the text.
Excellent. This is one answer, right? You need a translation to it is carry forward to many countries. Is there some other answer? Anybody else who could try? This is one direct particular answer, and that's paka, right? I agree this is an excellent answer. But do we have something else? Why do we need translation?
Yes, ma'am. If we talk about Indian literature, then India we have multilingual culture, and so that for to spread the different culture, we have different we have literature in different language. So,
Yes.
to spread this multiculture to in the world, or we can say that to present in front of the world literature. We have to translate this multiculture or multilinguality in specific one language, so we can present multiculture of India in front of the world.
Good, good, very good. So culture, right? So the basic thing is that you have to record things when there is a country or when there is a specific culture. It's important for us to record things, right? History again, right? Literature and history go hand in hand. Translation help us in doing so. And when we talk about this, we should also be very cautious that a wrong translation can be a biggest problem. All right. So that's what all these post-colonial text and all these things. That's what they tell us, right? And especially when there is, almost Indians were considered as snake charmers and people who live in forest and all that. That is how we were projected in the to the western side, right? People don't think that we were Indians are very no, they don't think that we are civilized and all that, right? But actually, that's not so. We are the best civilized country in the world. But that was not projected. Only these translations helped us in doing that. So translations cannot be taken in a lighter way. It's a subject also for students like you, right? So with this note, I would like to go back. We'll see, right? So here we start to we are entering the essay that's being given to you. So ayin kuru nuru can be like it can be divided into three parts called Aindu Kuru Nuru. Right? This Aindu, I alone is written. I is 5, Kuru is small, Nuru is 100. Okay, so this Ainguru Nuru is a book, okay, that contains 500 small poems. Each and every poem is just 3 feet barrel or a 6 feet barrel, and it is written in Asriyapa, something all Asriyapa and all these things, the rhythmic pattern that they follow. Okay, so we have 500 small poems in the book, and this books this ideas, right? And all these 500 songs are based on this 5 homelands of Tamil Nadu, right? We call it as Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, and Pali. Okay, Kurunji is a land that contains that is all about mountain and the lands that are related to mountain. Mullai is forest and forest related land. Marudam is agricultural land. Neidal is sea and seashore land. Palai is a desert area, right? And the thing is that the life also is based on this. Is something like we live in town and we live in village. Those who live in town, they go to office, they work. Those who are in village, they do agriculture, right? There is a difference. So like that, earlier Tamil Nadu had these 5 different places. All these things were not merged as now, right? So they had their own culture. They had their own business to do. They had their own way of living and all that. And this all these 500 all these like every landscape has got 100 songs. Okay. Marudam, all the Marudam songs was written by Oram Bogiar. Neidal songs are written by Ammuvanar. Kurunji songs are written by Kapilar. Palai songs are written by Odalattaya. Mullai Dinai songs are written by Peyanar. Okay. Actually, any book that is to be translated or to be edited, you need lots of money involved in that. You need a support. A patron is to be there always to support all these kind of work. And this book is edited by Pulathurai Mutriya Kodalur Kilar. And for this No, you need money, and this money was given by a king, and his name is Yanaikachei Mandarancheral Irumburai. Okay, all these names are actually Irumburai is his name, and Yanaikachei Mandarancheral and all is the adjectives that we give it to him. Okay, so such a big, I mean, big task this is, right? And we all know foreign invasions always try to thwart Indian goodness, right? They never wanted our civilization to come friend. They always wanted, we all know that, right? So earlier we didn't have this printing technology, we didn't have computers, we cannot store all these things. Apart from all these, physical hazards, political rampants, and all that, this book has, made its stay till now, and this is really good. All right. So these are the landscapes just for your better understanding. See, Kurunji is mountain and the lands related to that. Neithal is the desert area. Actually, don't think of deserts like where camel go in and all that. Tamil Nadu does not have a desert like that. This is a place where once that would have been a fertile land like Marudam, but after a few years or few decades, because of no rainfall and all that, that becomes an area where nothing will grow. Okay. Mullai is again a forest and forest related area. You'll have a dense forest nearby. Then near that, that agriculture will be little different. And you have a proper agriculture land, which will be like giving you bread, right? Tamil Nadu is getting its food from these places. And Neidal is again seashore and sea related, all these jobs people were doing. So these are the five landscapes. It's important for us to understand these five landscapes because all the culture is related to that. One who is doing agriculture will not know fishing, right? We all know that, right? Nowadays we are all adept in everything. Every student is getting 100 in all the subjects. I don't know how is that possible. But you see the plus two results: mathematics 100, English 100, Tamil 100, Gujarati 100, everything 100. But usually that shouldn't be the case, right? If you're good in maths, you'll not be very good in English. My case is like that. I'm good in English and I'm not very good in mathematics, right? I still have a problem with my math studies. So that is how it goes. All right, everybody, we are confined to our place and we know what is our business, what we should do, and that is where all this varnam and all these things come in. But slowly it all got merged, right? And latest science fiction says that we'll not have, the world will become countryless. We'll not have countries, we'll not have continents, everything will become one. We have only one globe, right? And all that balkanization, they call it, right? All these things are going to happen. But earlier, we are talking about the old Tamil Sangam literature, right? Where these are the things. And the culture of the people is confined to their area, right? One who is doing agriculture will definitely not do fishing. One who is doing fishing will definitely not do agriculture. They'll not know actually. So this is how it goes, and all the poems are based on that. Okay, one culture to another culture. All right. Now we'll move on to the song. All right. I'll just read the song. You can follow the English version given down. Annai, வாலி வேண்ட் அன்னை நம் படப்பை தேன்மயங்கு பாலினும் இனிய அவர் நாட்டு உவலை கூவர் கீழ மானுண்டு எஞ்சிய கழிலி நீரே. So I repeat, அன்னாய் வாலி வேண்டன்னை நம் படப்பை தேன்மயங்கு because she feels that she has gone there, maybe without the consent of the parents. She went with her, she eloped with her again. And this year and all that. But you cannot directly go ask her, how is your life and all that, right? So she's really not good. How are you managing with that water? That's the question the girl asked. The implied meaning is that, are you happy there with your in-laws family, or are you happy with your man? This is the direct question. And this girl also understands that the friend is not really interested in her well-being. It is only the mother who is interested in the well-being of her. That is why she uses the word Annai. Annai is mother in Tamil. Okay. Amma, mother, ma in Tamil. Right. So that is why she calls a friend as Annai, mother. Okay. She says, my man's place has got water holes where the animals come and drink water. All right. One water holes. You know what is a water hole, right? I'll just show you the picture. It's possible. I don't know whether I have. Yeah. See, this is the picture. Can you see the water hole over here? So this is a, see, only this much water is available uh, there, right? And that water is also drunk by all the animals and all that. So once animals come and drink there, the water will be like all muddy and all that. So she says, when I was here, I used to drink milk from our from the cows that is grown, and we have our own beehives, and from the beehive you used to take honey, and you used to mix that in the milk and you give it to me. And the water that I taste from my man's place is sweeter than this milk mixed with honey. So the implied meaning is that I am really very happy with my people over there in the mountain rather than I was being here. Okay, so this is a very, this just four lines have got lots of meaning, right? It's all about interior life. We have two things, Agana Nuru and Purana Nuru, that also I'll talk to you in the later things. So all these, this Ainguru Nuru is all about interior life, how a life, how life goes, how do people live and all that. So within these four lines, the girl says, the mother through the friend asks, where are you really happy? And they don't want to ask it directly. Are you really happy? Is it very comfortable? Is the place and all that thing? They're just telling like, water resources in the plains is really good, very tasty. You have lived in an agricultural land and you have been comfortably living here. But now, without our consent, you've gone to the mountains. Mountaining or staying in a mountain is not that easy. And we also understand that the water resources in mountain is not good now. So through that, they ask, the water is not good there, how do you manage? And she says, though the muddied water is sweeter than the milk mixed with honey in the agricultural land. So she says that I'm really very happy. This is how it goes. All right. So look at this, Kurunjitinai. This is the what the heroine says to her friend is like, Mother, may you live long. Mother, please listen to me. In his country, the muddied water that the deer drink and leave behind under the leaves in the pits is sweeter than the milk mixed with honey from our grove. Okay. The author has translated like this, right? In my this, I took it from the book. Okay, what Sir has shared with me. In my English rendering, it becomes the following: what she said to her girlfriend when she returned from the hills. Bless you, friend. Listen. Sweeter than milk, mixed with honey from our gardens, is the leftover water in his lands, low in the water holes, covered with leaves and muddied by the animals. Okay, this is what Ramanujam has translated in 1985. This is one translation I took it from Google. Maybe this is a recent translations. Okay, look at the word difference, right? Actually, Ramanujam is also telling us like Annai is only mother, but you cannot exactly use the word Annai mother here. Okay, you have to call only that as a friend because she is a friend. Okay, so he has used to her girlfriend when she returned from the hills, right? But here, the exact translation starts like mother. Okay, the word mother, Anna is mother. So that is what they have done here. But Ramanujam sir says like, no, I cannot use the word exactly because she is not addressing the mother. She is addressing only the friend. So the first difference is like mother and friend. Okay, and here you have the pits and all that, but English does not have. Actually, pit is just a hole, right? Water hole is the place where animals drink water. So Ramanujam sir was very comfortable using the word water holes, right? And garden and grow, these two things have little. And here he uses the word garden, and here it is grow. Actually, grow is full of trees. Grove we call it like when we have lots of trees of the same variety, right? Say maybe coconut trees or mango trees, we call it a grove, right? Gardens with no umpty number of you may have flowers, you may have trees, whatever it is, right? That's a growing agricultural area. So these are the two other things, like. But padappai is the word, right? Here padappai is something like where you fence it and you grow same kind of trees and plants there, right? Maybe this girl's family had one set of trees, right? So when you use it as a grow, then the universality is like becoming little less, and that is why I think Ramanujam sir has used garden here, right? The word difference I'm just telling you. And when that comes to sound, rhythm, and grammar differences, sounds can be mimicked, but it will spoil everything else. The meaning can never be realized. Okay, so I just want to use the same sounds. I want to bring in the same rhythm and all that, and that is why sometimes you would have seen watch all the serials, right? Dubbing serials, right? We never get the meanings, right? Dubbing serials and sometimes translated songs, all right, especially religious songs I've heard, and you could never make, uh, oh, this word, oh, this is the word they have used it like that, and all that. Especially when they don't want to compromise with the music and they just want to put in the words over there, they get into troubles like that, right? So it's better. Let us not concentrate on the sounds. Let us not concentrate on the words. Let us try to bring out the culture. That's what Ramanujam sir says. And meters are different in different languages, and rhyme schemes are also not the same. You can never expect the rhyme scheme to be same in any language, right? And especially Tamil and English, I don't think they go together at all, right? And in English, we have just to talk about little phonology, like we don't have hard sounds. Even if the sound is very stressed, it's not very stressed. We have only ta. We say it's pot, all right? We say it's pot, it's kite. Even ta is not that stretched, that stressed. But Tamil has got every word that is stressed, right? We call it pattam, parakkudu. Every stressed syllable is very strong. And sometimes, we even say that when English ruled our country, if we have made them speak pakka Tamil, they would have died. There is one saying like that in Tamil, right? If you say pattam parakkudu is kite flying. If you ask an English man to pronounce that, that will be only pattam parakkudu, right? They can, because ta is only ta for them, pa is only an explosive for them. They don't have the stressed syllable over there. So you cannot actually take any word to word translation is not that possible. Sound translation is not at all possible. That's what Ramanujam sir is also telling us, right? And then grammar, the basic thing what sir says is like, we don't have degrees of comparison words, right? Sweet, sweeter, sweetest. In Tamil, we don't have one word for that. If I want to say sweet, I have to say inipana. If I want to say sweeter, இதை விட இனிப்பு. If I want to say sweetest, I should say இதை விட மிகவும் இனிப்பு. So I have to add 2 or 3 more words to bring out this sweet, sweetest, sweetest. So putting that in one word is not at all possible. Okay. And look at the syntax. And in syntax, Tamil is always, it's from left branching. And of course, English also we have left branching, but most of the times it's right branching. Right? So one example what gives is like the 19th of June 1988. And in Tamil, we always say the year first, month next, and day next. This is the format for year in Tamil. Okay. And see, the man who came from Michigan, if I want to say this, the first thing I would say is Michigan, right? Michiganin irundu vanda manidan. மிஷிகனில் இருந்து வந்த மனிதன். So this ABCDE becomes EDCDE. The complete opposition to bring out the same meaning. So when syntax is this different, it's really hard for any poet or any translator to translate a Tamil poem into English. Okay. So culture-specific lexicons, we all know, right? A blue moon, a red letter day, a white elephant, all connected with English phrases. We have nothing to do all these things in Tamil, right? We never have a blue moon in Tamil. Our moon is always white, right? So red is always connected with danger, right? White elephant, here we worship white elephant. We feel that Airavadam, hope, Indran, Lord Indra, white elephant and all that, right? So for us, white elephant is something that is very godly. This white elephant is a lie, right? So exactly opposite. Cultural specific lexicons, we cannot like use the same lexicons. Yeah. A same word can be used to refer different functions in culture, right? So here is where we have to talk about this Agana Nuru and Purana Nuru. Again, Agana Nuru is Agam plus Na plus Nuru, right? Agam is interior life. That's talking about love, married, children, rearing and all that. Purana Nuru is exterior life. That is, it is talking about war, society, poverty, death of heroes and all these things. Okay. And one example is this nochi leaf. I don't know whether you have seen this leaf. We call it nochi. And I also found a word in Marathi, but Gujarati I couldn't find. I searched. I don't know if you know someone. If you know, you can let me know, or else we'll just continue. Right? This nochi leaf. I don't know, sir. I couldn't spell that, so I left it. No, sir, it is not neem. This we call it as nochi. Actually, this is one leaf. We use it in winter. It's something like where you put it in the water and you get this vapor and all that. You'll not get cold. Something like turpentine, but it has its own smell and all that. But this is a symbol. This is the symbol of both love and war. Tamil Nadu have got lots of leaves and flowers related to victory, related to sadness. See, for instance, you have this marigold flower, right, sir? In North India also we see lots of orange color flower, right? That orange color flower, we don't use it in worship. If you take that orange color flower to the temple, they will not allow you in. But you have this yellow color marigold, and that yellow color marigold is allowed inside the temple. Okay. Orange is allowed only for the last rites, for the death related activities. So we have lots of culture connections like this. And this nochi leaf is worn by the warriors. When they go into the war, they wear this nochi leaf in the head or even in the waist and all that they go. It means that they are ready for the war, they are ready for the fight. Right? And at the same time, a nochi leaf skirt is given by the lover to his lady love. It is not in the marriage, it's only in the case of love. Right? The boy gives it to the girl, and if the girl accepts that, then they are ready for marriage without the consent of the parents. Okay? So for love and war, we have this same connotation called this nochi. Okay? So that is why. So bring it, this love is interior, war is exterior, but the same culture is seen, the same culture of using using a leaf skirt or using a leaf wreath on the head is seen. And bringing out all these things, because noche is very specific to Tamil Nadu. I don't think we find it like in many of at least it is very specific to India, we could say, maybe in different names, right? But Kerala also they call it nochi, Tamil Nadu also they call it nochi. Apart from that, they have different names there. Okay, so to bring up this culture will be really, really hard. And Ramanujam sir, he's talking about this nochi leaf in his work also. I'll just, oh my God, I thought of sharing that. Okay, fine. So we'll finish off with this. So he is using this Nochi leaves example also. He is quoting a song from Agananuru and Purananuru, and he's telling, right? In Purananuru, he says that in one song, the wreath is there in the head of the warrior, and the warrior is dead. He's full of blood, and the vulture is coming, and the vulture is picking up his intestine, and at the same time, it's also taking the wreath with its beak and examining that whether that is an intestine also. Same ways in Agananuru, Purananuru, the man dies there. In Agananuru, the boy is giving this nochi skirt to a girl to woo her. Right? This is how it goes. So same culture. So he says bringing out this culture will be little difficult. Okay. So he says literal translations, word for word, is meaningless. See, sometimes we end up like that. When we translate, we make sure that we translate word by word, and that becomes meaningless. So he says the only possible translation is a free one. You translate the idea. Never go for word by word, never go for meter by meter, never try to bring in the syntax as such and all that. All right. Because phonology, grammar, semantics, all these intertextual web has to be translated. This intricate yet lucid second language of landscapes, which holds together natural forms with cultural ones in a code, a grammar, a rhetoric, and a poetic. So, whenever we go for a translation, it is better we do a free-handed translation instead of putting ourselves uh, into the turmoil of like taking words, taking that, taking syntax, and all these things. So, understand the meaning and then go for the translation. This is how he ends up the part one. And in part two, he is taking a very closer look to this poem, translating a poem not as a separate entity but as a network. That, as I was telling you, Anna is Amma in Tamil, mother, but it is addressed to a friend. So that's a great difference, right? I don't think like in other languages we use the same word for different relation. Here also, it's only mother, but now the friend is taking the role of the mother, right? The girl knows that the mother wants to know whether I'm happy or not, right? That is why she's addressing the friend as the mother and all that, right? And animals drinking water, he's trying to do that. All right. So again, he talk about, as I was telling, sweet in Tamil. We don't have sweeter, we don't have sweetest. We don't have the degrees of comparison. He wants to use this word sweeter. All right. My phrase order in English tries to preserve the order and the syntax of themes, not of single words. Is lands, water followed by, this is water actually, leaf covered water holes and mundied by animals. All these things I could get enough no words that could express the feelings, but I still could not bring the word sweeter, inia, inia is sweeter, right? Into the one about the muddied water. The girl is smooth. it is tastier than the milk and honey. This is the word that is the crux of this muddied water is better. So that emotion has to be brought in. But with this one word sweeter, I think this is not going to come out. All right. And so he says, why the emotion is not coming out and all that, right? So this song 203, he has his own version of telling, right? Is all about lovers' union. He says the muddied water of his land tastes better than the milk, all about the first union of the lovers. So the girl was a child who was drinking milk and honey, but now she says, I'm no more a child. I have become a wife. Right? So I know my responsibility. So all this has to come out, and that is why that one word is not enough, he says. Right? Then he actually takes the example of next song also, 204, and that's all about weeping. The mood is sadness. Here it is all about happiness. It's all about going to your place. It's all about being comfortable and all that. And the next song is immediately about weeping, because the girl has started loving the man. She has gone there and all that. But actually, they are not married because of no consent. Marriage, in the sense, to them, they are married, but this family has not accepted. So the real marriage has not happened. So, and that man is also not coming down to ask to this parents, why don't you give your daughter in marriage to me? That is how the next 204 song goes like that. And Alugai is crying. Okay. So she says, so the next song she says, everybody in our land says that I'm good, right? I belong to this land and everybody praises me. They say that I'm godlike, I'm divine, I'm good and all that. But I'm not good for the man from the hill. The man has given his love to me, but he's not stooping down to come ask to my parents for a marriage. So I'm not that good for the man. Okay, so she persuades him to marry her. Right? Such intricate emotions has to brought down. The 10 poems together make for a complex, psychologically nuanced, progressive enactment of a given conventional situation. So when you're talking about the translation, the situation is important. You should look into the convention of what's happening. These poems develop a mood, a situation, a dwelling, a mode or a raga by original recombinations, placements, and repetitions of a given set of motives. Now, the best thing I would say is you would have listened to lots of good songs, right? The song will be very peppy, dancing and all that. The mood of the song will be very sad. Maybe after the song, the hero or the heroine will die. You can select songs like that and you can listen. In Tamil, I have a few songs. Like the hero and heroine will be dancing, and by the end of the dance, the girl will die with a guitar current shock or something like that. So the song will be peppy, but once you start listening to the song, you will get into the mood of sadness and all of that, right? So the song looks very happy, but the mood is really, no, little sadness is there because the love life is not accepted by the parents and all that. So all this has to be brought out when you translate, right? Compiler is an author, right? Has made use of these landscapes of Agam interior and made them truly individual in designs and meanings. Right? Agam and Puram share landscapes in different yet same meaning. Interior and exterior. When these comes to two things, the same landscape is there, but they give a different meaning. Right? Slowly in later days, these love and war poems provided models and motives for religious poems. Right? Krishna is one such character. Okay, Lord Krishna is a lover and a warrior. He is a man of valor, and he is a so romantic god, right? So man's relationship with divinity is also coming out there. The relations of a lover and a beloved, poet and a patron, bard and a hero get transposed or translated, if you will, to poet, saint, god, right? You cannot just leave Krishna as a romantic person. You cannot stop him telling that he is the best warrior. He has the best powerful weapon in his hand, right? We are not afraid of him, right? And at the same time, we don't look down upon him. So this, both these has to come, right? To worship Lord Krishna. Unless until you scare him, you will not worship him. Unless until you look him as a chocolate lover boy, you will not worship him. These two things have to come together, and such should be a translation. That's what Ramanujam sir is saying. Right? So, and as far as this Ainguru Nuru, the poetry collection is very complex, right? You cannot read any poem as a single unit, right? Though single unit has got some little meaning, it's actually a part in part. It's actually a part in part. I think I have 10 more minutes. I'll try to finish it. So, it can be a landscape, it can be a genre, right? Somehow a translator has to translate each poem in ways that suggest these interests, dialogues, and networks. Unless and until you bring in all these things out, your translation cannot be a complete one. Okay, and we are now moving to the third part. This is actually easy in the sense he is giving us four things. We have to understand this before we translate. We all right now, so much is there, right? You cannot read it as a small poem. You have to read the whole book. Reading 500 poems, memorizing, not possible. Or maybe I don't have time for doing all these translation. Maybe I want to take only 10 songs and I want to do it and all that. So in that case, how to translate? We understand that this is intricate, right? One, it is related to each and every thing. So is it possible really to bring out all these nuances we have talked about? And Ramanujam accepts that it is not possible always. It's not possible always. But as a translator, keep all these four things in mind: the universals, interiorized context, systematicity, and structural mimicry. Okay. Universals, right? Always, if a book is not universal, see, if I say a statement and you all know that after 10 years that's not going to work out, you will not listen to me, right? Any good saying, right? The epic lives long only because of its universality. So no universals, then translations are not possible, and we can also say that it is not needed, right? And that is why all your pocket novels and all these things are not getting translated. We don't feel that this is going to be useful forever, right? Even your detective stories, what was there some 10 years before, now if you read old detective story, you know that this is what's going to happen, and you also know better, okay, this can happen like this, so the storyline becomes better and all that. That is why we are not translating much of the smaller books like that. All right. So if universality does not exist, invent them. He also says, if you feel that this book has to be translated or this work has to be translated, and you don't see an universality that is existing, maybe that is not overtly seen, try to invent some. All right. He's not using the word discover, he says invent, so that you find the meaning in translation, right? He also suggests to find the universals of structure, signifiers, and the signifiers. We know that, right? Signifiers. Here, by signifiers, he means that the sound system, grammar, semantics, rhetoric, and poetics. Signifiers like theme, love and war, mean within and across the culture. All right. So select the words like that. What is the signifier? What is a signified? How should I go for this translation? All right. Suggest these universal structures are to be discovered and used. Interiorized context, right? Interiorized entire culture, right? This is really hard. I cannot understand your culture. You cannot understand my culture. The basic thing is that North Indian when you go in, you just cover your head with your dupatta or your sari pallu. Here in Tamil Nadu, I should not cover my head when I go into the temple. They say, don't cover your head, right? But that's a great culture difference. When I come there, they ask me to do so. And I have also seen in few temples here in Tamil Nadu, they'll ask us, "Talila tuni," I mean, don't cover your head. This is one common thing. So how will I understand that culture? Right? Transposing or bringing that culture out would be a real great challenge. So he says maybe in the olden days, the colophones, they played an important role in bringing these things out, right? This is a colophon is an emblem or an imprint, usually on the title page of a book. It is also a statement at the end of a book, typically with a printer's emblem, giving information about its authorship and printing. So it means that don't get offended when I say something, right? When you translate, it's natural. I say that this is wrong here, that's bad here, right? Everybody will get offended. How can you take my culture? You are opposing my culture. I'll not accept this and all that. So that is why when you do that, give the authorship. Tell them that this author is from this place and he is trying to bring out this culture and all that, right? When one, I mean, avoid problems. That's what he's trying to tell us. When one translates a classical Tamil poem, one is translating also this kind of intertextual web, the meaning making web of colophons and commentaries that surround and contextualize the poem. Never ever try to translate a poem without a context. Always give them the context and then try to translate so that the problems are minimized. Systematicity is another word, right? Not single poems, bodies of poems are translated. You cannot stop with one. If you stop with one, especially all these old poems and all these things, you will be actually giving a wrong meaning. You will actually mar the effect of the work, right? So always it's better you translate the bodies of poem, right? The whole resource is to be translated. It helps in creating and containing the original world, right? The world is to be projected. That is why, see, actually living in a forest, living in a jungle and all that. What is that? A cartoon character? I forgot. Wow, Mowgli, yeah? When Mowgli is there, people were like talking. When that movie was given Oscar, if I'm not wrong, some biggest award, people were like telling, "Oh, how come Indians are ill treated here and all that?" See, to me, I didn't make it. No, I didn't tell it. I didn't write or nothing. But what I had in my mind is, it's not that easy to live in a forest, right? You cannot tame all the animals, and though let it be a cartoon or whatever it is, right? To live in a jungle is not that easy, especially at that age. Indians are capable of doing that, right? Why not be appreciated for that? That's what came into my mind. But the thing is that it's not only Mowgli lives in India, right? We have lots of other people living, right? We have civilized culture. We have the best people in the world in our country, right? Why that one chunk is alone portrayed? Because no, maybe the grown-ups will understand, okay, this is only one part, but the children will always think that for their age, Mowgli is the only person, and they feel that okay, Mowgli lives in jungle and all that. So that is the wrong information they have given to the world. So you have to do things systematically. Make sure that the original world is shown when you do a translation. To be precise, intertextuality is not a problem, but that is the solution. We may find it little hard how to bring out this meaning, how to bring out this emotion and all that. But once that is done, that is the solution. We'll never end up in the trouble, right? And structural mimicry is like, it's the chief work of the translator, right? In this task, this is the words of Ramanujan. In this task, I believe the structures of individual poems, the unique figure, they make out all the given codes of their language, rhetoric, poetics, and become the points of entry. Poetry is made at all these levels, and so is translation, right? It is not just words, it's not just the rhetoric, it's not just the language. Everything has to come out, right? Not words but phrases, not metrical units but rhythms, not morphology but the syntactic patterns, right? It's not only the words, how they are formed, how the language is used, but it should be the order of words, in which order this word is better understood, in which order the meaning is better brought up. That has to be taken. The structural mimicry, no, you have to be very, very conscious when you use this. Okay? So, do the tunnels meet? I think we are at the end, right? We have two things. When we translate, we have two things: represent and represent. Okay, represent the original and represent the original. And you have to be doubly loyal to the to language and the from language. All right? To which language you're translating, you should not mar the beauty of that language. And at the same time, you should not make the from language inefficient. Okay, and always this is hard, right? So Ramanujan has quoted a Chinese parable, right? One small story, like where a king says you have to dig a tunnel through the mountain, right? And all these, the engineers over there, they all felt that this is really very hard. So they all decided, like, one group can start from one end of the mountain, and the other wants to start from the other end of the mountain. So we'll meet in between, and we will make the work easier in a shorter duration and all that. But the king had a doubt. He said, "What if the tunnels do not meet?" right? You start at one end and they start at one end. We do not know what is in the center. What if the tunnels do not meet, right? So this can happen in English translation also, right? So the minister there, he said, if the tunnels, if they do not meet, we'll have two tunnels instead of one. Some of you are not going to stop in the middle. We'll be going from this side to that side one and this side to that side one. If it meets, it's fine. If it is not meeting, we're going to have two tunnels inside. So too, if the representation in another language is not close enough, but still succeeds in carrying the poem in some sense, we'll have two poems instead of one, right? Unless and until it is, if at all, if it is very nonsensical, or if at all, if it is not bringing out the sense at all, if we have some culture that's transformed or that is projected, then it's okay that we have two tunnels. So translation, you may end up like this or you may end up like this, but make sure that the light is coming from the other end. So thank you. Here I end and I'm open for questions now. Hope I made little justice. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If they have questions also, they can ask maybe one or two. If you have basic things, you can ask me.
So, ma'am, one question out of curiosity I would like to ask. Recently, we had a machine translation workshop with a Bengal with one of the ex-student alumni of this department, and we
Okay.
realized that when we were translating a Hindi or a English our content into Bengali, a word-to-word translation was giving us better meaning rather than when we were translating the whole stanza, when we are
Okay.
translating in Google Translate. So even when we are studying and we are not getting some idea clearly in English while reading articles, we translate them in Gujarati for better understanding. And there also we see that they go for word to word translation. Perhaps the clear meaning is not coming out, but we get an idea that what they are trying to say. Does the same happens in when the Google translates into Tamil, or how the answer comes out?
Okay. See, to understand a language, to know the meaning, word to word is okay. Right? You just want to see, my name is Patchainayagi. I'll give example from my name. Pachai is green. Nayagi is heroine. Right? You cannot call me green heroine. Not possible. Am I right? Actually, Patchainayagi is a name given to a goddess. Hope you all heard about Madurai, Madurai Meenakshi. Yes, Madurai Meenakchi's another name is Patchainayagi. Okay, goddess of vegetation. She is the one who brings who brings lots of vegetation, who makes life possible and all that. So that is the meaning. So when you take, of course, you want to know Pachai is green. That's fine, but does it really bring the meaning? It will not. To understand the basic things, that is how any translation will start. I don't understand this word. Okay, go for that. What's the meaning and all that? But when you do a complete translation, I think Google Translation will not do justice. I have tried it out, right? See, I was actually trying when I was a student, when all these Google Translation came in, I was trying one translation, like writing like, he stood in the limelight. So what is the meaning? Limelight is being famous. Am I right? Being famous, right? But you just type Google Translation. You try to do it in Gujarati. Also, it will say lime is lemon, light is the tube light, the light that is coming from. So he translated like he is standing under the lemon light. And do it make sense there? Will not. Right? So especially when translating, you have to make sure that it is contextualized. So my experience with Google is very bad. Of course, machine learning, Now it has taken up lots of things. Even one of my computer science faculty was telling me, why don't you take up a student in mission learning? I'll be a co-guide. We do something for all this national education policy want all these things, it seems, sir. So she was telling me all that. So mission learning is improvised, but I don't think that will be the complete thing. You really need a human intervention. Only a human can understand the emotions better. That's my personal feeling. And that is what I think Ramanujam is also trying to tell us. Hope I'm answering you, dear.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Any other question? Nobody wants to talk to me except the girl in green shirt. Why? Okay. Anybody else? No?
Ma'am, moving towards the feedback session, I would like to invite Himanshi for giving a feedback.
Um, First of all, thank you, ma'am, for this fruitful session. And when we studied this article, we have understood the meaning of that poem, Ein Kurumuru, and we understand that what is the basic concept of it. But it is very hard to us to understand that cultural differences and religious differences, also the landscape that you have explained. And by your session, we understood that the poem and the article very well, and that landscape and differences. As you told that they in that region they don't have desert like we have in Gujarat and Rajasthan. The desert, the definition of desert are changed. So it was very new to us, and we understand so many things by your session. So thank you for your session, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
ma.
much. For vote of thanks, I would like to invite Amy Sharon.
Hello, ma'am. It was a very great session with you, and we came to know very much knowledgeable things from the Tamil culture as well. And you have explained this essay in a very convenient language, even that we can understand. And all three parts